Welcome to AminAcademy.com and History of Muslim World. Let us discuss about the Ayyubid dynasty. In 1171 AD, Salahuddin bin Ayyub took possession of Egypt and restored the Sunnite faith. The Ayyubids were strictly Orthodox Muslims. They soon added Syria to their dominions. Now, for the detail, we'll discuss. The Ayyubids dynasty was a Kurdish dynasty that ruled over a Middle Eastern empire from 1169 to 1260. It is known for fighting the European Crusades, conquering Fatimid Egypt, and replacing Ismaili Shiism with Sunni policy. Founded by Salahuddin I, who is considered the dynasty's greatest ruler. Territories: Egypt, Syria, Palestine, parts of northern Mesopotamia, and Yemen. Sunni Muslims. Flag yellow with an eagle. The Ayyubids' rise to power began with two Kurdish brothers, Ayyub and Shirkuh, who migrated to Iraq around 1130. Shirkuh seized control of Egypt in 1168 but died early 1169, passing power to his brother Ayyub's son Salah ad-Din Yusuf. The Ayyubids continued the policies of the Zangids in Syria and the earlier Great Seljuks. They are best known for fighting against the European Crusades, a series of invasions by Christian forces that attempted to conquer the Holy Land. Here are some the key events of the chronology of the Ayyubid dynasty. 1130, two Kurdish brothers Ayyub and Shirkuh migrated to Iraq. 1171 to 1260, the Ayyubids dynasty rules Egypt, Syria, Palestine, parts of northern Mesopotamia, and Yemen. 1174, Saladin, the son of Ayyub, proclaims himself Sultan after the death of Nuruddin. Next, 1188, Saladin became a ruler. 1188 to 1193, Al-Adil first, Saladin's brother, becomes a ruler. 1193 to 1227, Al-Muazzam Isa, son of the Al-Adil I, becomes a ruler. 1229 to 1249, and Nasir Dawood, son of the Muazzam Isa, becomes a ruler. 1249 to 1263, Al-Mughith Umar, son of Al-Adil II, becomes the ruler. The Ayyubid dynasty is the best known for its resistance to the European Crusades, which were waged the Christian invasion of the Holy Land. The dynasty's founder and greatest ruler was Saladin, whose full name was Salah ad-Din Yusuf ibn Ayyub. The remnants of the Ayyubid dynasty continued to rule small areas until 16th century, usually as vassals to other states. Further details. Under Saladin and his descendants, Egypt was reintegrated into the Sunni world of the Eastern Caliphate. Indeed, during the period of the Crusades, Egypt became a champion of the world against the Crusaders and, as such, chief target of the Crusader armies. But this was the gradual process that required Saladin first to build an army strong enough to establish his power in Egypt and then to unite the faction of Syria, the Mesopotamia, under his leadership against the Europeans. By so doing, he recognized reconstituted a Egyptian empire which included, in addition to the areas just named, Yemen, the Hejaz, and with his victory at Hattin and subsequent capture of Jerusalem in 1187, a major part of the Holy Land. The abolition of the Fatimid Caliphate and the official reinstitution of Sunni Islam seems to have caused little perturbation in Egypt except for an upspring by the Fatimid palace guard, quickly suppressed. This undoubtedly meant that Ismaili Shiism was confined to Fatimid ruling circles. Now we'll discuss about Saladin policies. This is a citadel of Saladin, that is a big mosque. Saladin's remission of all taxes not explicitly sanctioned by Islamic law must have contributed to his own popularity as well as to the stability of his regime. To ensure the defense of his state against both internal and external enemies, he strengthened the fortification of Cairo by building a citadel and extending the Fatimid city walls. Despite the major military and propagandistic efforts he mounted against the Crusaders, Saladin continued to treat the Christians Egypt with tolerance. The Coptic Church thrived under the Ayyubids and Copts still served the government. Saladin also treated the Christians of Jerusalem with magnanimity after the conquest of the city. Under the Saladin, the Jewish community enjoyed protection, and such noted scholars as Moses Maimonides, who was the Sultan's personal physician, settled there. Much to the consternation of the popes, trade between Egypt and the Italian city-states remained brisk, and the Egyptians were able to use raw materials provided by the Italian merchants to forge weapons against the Crusaders. The administration of Egypt stayed in the hands of the vast, mainly civilian, bureaucracy, but was supervised by military officials. Power struggles. The Ayyubids introduced a significant change in the governance of their empire that was decisive for the history of their role in Egypt. Though the Ayyubids were themselves of Kurdish descent, Saladin followed the Turkish practice of assigning the provinces of fiefdoms of members of his family. In theory, such a measure would ensure the loyalty of the provinces to the central government of Egypt through the loyalty of Ayyubid's kinsmen to their family leader. In practice, however, the measures led to recurrent power struggles in which each governor used his province as a basic from which to defy the supreme Ayyubid powers of Egypt. The sultanates of Al-Malik al-Adil reigned 1207 to 18, and Al-Malik al-Kamil reigned 1218 to 38. Each succeeded in reuniting Syria and Egypt under his own leadership. Kamil especially was able to exploit Frankish attacks in the form of Fifth Crusade directed against Damietta to rally family and provinced support for the defense of Egypt. Nevertheless, given the dissension with the Ayyubid Empire, it was clearly in the interest of the Egyptian Sultan to reach a peaceful settlement with the Crusades. This was achieved in 1229 by a truce between Kamil and Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II. The agreement stipulated that Kamil exchange possession of Jerusalem and other territory in Holy Land for Frederick's guarantee to support the Sultan against aggression from any source. before Mongol armies stormed Baghdad and put an end to the Abbasid Caliphate, leaving military slaves to rule Egypt with no legitimizing authority. High-ranking Mamluks had played a role in politics in the Islamic world since the 9th century. Some had even seized political control as the Ghaznavid dynasty of Turkey. But for the first time, a system arose in what otherwise might have been a dynastic interregnum, wherein former slaves stood at the head of self-perpetuating slave dynasty. This new order, which came at a time when the light of Baghdad had been extinguished and which lasted for 2.5 centuries, brought Egypt to a new cultural and political flowering. We have done. So far, we discussed about Ayyub dynasty. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.